Hi, my name is Brian Ellis. This is my testimony. I was not raised in a Christian family, and the first time I remember God interacting with me in my life was in January of '91, I guess. I was standing on the highway of death in the middle of Iraq, surrounded by all kinds of war casualties, and several of my fellow Army buddies were circled up and they were praying. A bunch of guys there, Catholics, Baptists, I suppose some Protestants, a couple of Native American Indians. And I remember literally laughing at them. And my buddy Chris turned around and looked at me and he asked me what was funny. I said, take a look around. What do you see? I don't see anything here that tells me there's a God. I don't understand what you believe in. I don't understand how you think God could exist. And Chris looked at me for about a minute probably, and he just kind of shook his head, and he said, Brian will add you to the prayer list. I didn't know anything about God, and I didn't have a relationship with God, but I remember felt like I was being kicked in the stomach, I guess. I didn't know how to deal with that, so I walked away. The next time God interceded in my life was September 17th, 1995. I was stationed in a little Army base in Northern California, a little hole-in-the-wall place about 60 miles outside of Reno. And I was coming home, middle of the night, and I rolled the car over 7 times at 130 plus miles an hour. God got me out of that car. I don't know why, and I really don't know how. I walked away from that with a few bumps and bruises and a scratch. And I walked up onto another car accident, and there was some other people that were less fortunate than me. And I know that had I rounded that corner, if God had not interacted in my life at that moment, I probably would have collided with that accident. And I don't know how many people I would have hurt or killed that night. So I'm not really sure whether God interceded on my benefit, on my behalf, or for theirs. Either way, he definitely got in the way that night. I remember a paramedic coming to my hospital room, and he came over to me and to check on me, and he asked me if I was a believing man. And I said I didn't know. He said, well, I don't know either. He says, but God was definitely with you tonight, and I don't know how you could deny that. And he turned around and he walked off. As many of you know that know me, I'm pretty slow. I don't always get it right away. A couple months later I got out of the Army and I wandered around for about a year and a half. In May of '97, God decided to really get my attention. And I was working, and he sent me a teacher. That night, Emily walked into my life. And the minute she walked through the door, I knew who she was, I knew what she was, I knew why she was there. And I told everybody within an hour, everybody that would listen, including Emily, that we were going to be married. Obviously everybody laughed, including Emily. But we became basically inseparable that night. And she taught me about the Bible. She got me to church, and I sucked up every ounce of information I could get. I couldn't get enough. She taught me how to read the Bible. And 6 months after we met, we were married. So I was right. Probably the one and only time, but I was right that time. So Emily expressed to me how important baptism was. We studied it. I studied it with another pastor, and I was baptized right about the same time. So there. That's it, right? God dug me out of a hole, literally. He saved me. I've been baptized, and I'm good to go. Not exactly. Like many of you, I struggle every day. There are times that I go weeks without talking to God. But the difference now is I know God doesn't go a single day without talking to me. And He's working on me hard lately, and I'm excited to see where this is going to take us. He's challenged me to be a good Christian husband, and a father, a member of this church. He sent Pastor Tim and Pastor Mike to help me with that, and every day I still struggle, but I know He's with me every single day, and together we'll get through this. That's my testimony. It's short and sweet. That's it. Thanks.